associate with you. And so, long story short, my parents, more so my dad, was a bit afraid of the stuff I was teaching initially, but he explained that he came around to it, listening to me more and more, and saying, "Hey, he's actually saying all the stuff that I teach, but just using different language." So at this point, they're my biggest supporters. I don't know how much of what I teach they fully agree with, but they really support what I do, and they're my biggest fans.
Amazing. That's amazing. It's great when you've got support from the family, but you had this some also tough experience, because I think that's a lot of people once they are moving towards expanding their consciousness, and they are stepping out of the religion, because a lot of people now, it's their first step in spirituality is the religion, because it was forbidden here too, so they just came comfortable with religion, because it's also some people still are atheistic here, and there are these people who are religious, and all of a sudden there is someone else who is pushing them more beyond this, and it's very interesting. So I, I am thankful to you that you share this experience. It's very important, because a lot of people are afraid to go through this, and they think that, oh, what if they will not understand me? I will lose my friends. I will lose my connection to the family. They will judge me. All this. This is, I think, part of what we are afraid, because we are in this. We live in the social.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot to lose for somebody.
yeah, but I think mm, throughout my experience, I've been changing the circles. Like I've been always in next step. I always find a new circle, because those friends of mine, I don't have interest anymore to communicate about. We are meeting, talking again about children, talking about this, and it's not no of interest, because the conversation and meetings are not anymore inspiring. You don't exchange the opinions about something that really interests you, and it's just politeness and keep on conversation. So that's why I start seeking. Once I realized that where you want to get, you have to get in touch with these people. If you don't become their friend at once, you just follow them, you just watch their lifestyle, they are sharing their wisdom with you, and you apply it. And that's how I start to watch all different kind of coaches, because I prefer to learn things from their wisdom, not being close to them, but applying to my life, rather than just have a close friends, but we don't grow much together.
Yeah.
So how often do you have these circles, and the universe is bringing you people that push you to the next level?
I don't really have many friends in real life, if any, really, that are on this same path. If I ever do, it's typically just like whoever I'm dating. Outside of that, I feel like I want to sort of be in a place where I do have hard time finding people that I can really relate to, because that just means I must be doing something right. Like if you want to, play Major League Baseball, you got to be able to play with the big league guys, right? And not the kids down the street who are still in D League or whatever. So in that sense, it's not a bad thing.
Yes.
I don't look at it as a bad thing to be kind of alone on the journey, because the more in love with yourself you fall, the more in love with God you fall. The more okay you are with being alone, and growing becomes your greatest joy, and deepening your relationship with source becomes your greatest joy, and you don't have this need to have tons of people you can relate to anymore. And when life does gift them to you, which it does, they're all the more a treasure for it.
Yeah, that's so true. It's what about the tools that you're using on your journey? Let's say at one point I came across Dolores Cannon teaching, and then later on I came across numerology, and I studied there, because I've got three kids, and I needed to not be, trying to input my own expectations into them. So I thought that numerology could be a tool. Did you find any of this, like astrology, numerology, as a tool useful? How do you?
I do dabble in astrology a little bit. I enjoy learning about the archetypes in tarot as well. But for me, my tools have really always been, uh, not always, but most of my journey so far has been A Course in Miracles and The Law of One. And more recently, in the last year or two, books from some of the great gurus like Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta, I Am That. But I just can't really get away from the course. It just pulls me into it. I have a hard time reading anything else because every time I read it, it's like I've never read it. I get so many layers of revelation from that book, that yeah, I just can't find anything worth picking up more. You know?
What can you spell that book? Because it's the first time I'm hearing it. If you can spell it, so I can write it down. Maybe some people can get some interested
Yeah,
in
you mean A Course in Miracles?
Course in
Is that,
Miracles.
yeah, the one I was just mentioning?
I'll write it down somewhere. I'll write it.
Yeah,
I'll write
it's
it in.
four
I'll write it in
words.
our chat, I think.
A Course in Miracles. I'm sure they have it in Russian as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just, I want to know which one, because I know some people who like also to gather wisdom, and I can find a Russian translation of this and refer. And who is
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
okay? Thank you. I'll just write it down later to people who are watching me, and um, how do you find about if we will do one more stream with you,
I
because
would love it.
I have so many questions. You have
Yeah,
a lot of things that I want to share with people, because I watch a lot of things of yours, and I know some people are not, so they're lazy so better to find some interesting points that at least I found very, very much touching, and in time now, and discuss this.
I would love that. Yeah, I'll come back anytime.
Oh, thank you so much. I know that you have a short time now, so I will not keep you very long, because I have, like, I'm looking at the time. It's like 5 more minutes. Just one last question. Uh, this is a little tricky question. I just came to, because you mentioned dating. I just want to ask you, how do you think about the dogma of they teach in the church, they teach us also about one man, one woman, preferably virgin. How do you find this? Is it a programming to lead us to unhappy marriage or relationship, or it is, how do you find it?
Well, this is a very relevant question for me because I went down that road myself when I was a Christian. I was taught to do that, to get married, stay celibate before marriage, and then after you're married, then you can have sex and all of that. And my parents did it, and they were really happy. All my aunts and uncles and both my grandparents, um, they were all married. None of them had ever been divorced, and as far as I knew, they all did the stay virgin to your married thing. So I got married at 23. Now I wasn't a virgin, but my wife was, and we were celibate for a year and a half before we got married. And long story short, it was impossible for us to stay together. Like our marriage was a total disaster. We didn't have any compatibility, and we didn't get a chance to know that until after we had signed the contract. So it can work out, and it has worked out for some of my family, but I don't think it's a very wise blueprint to give people. I think, first of all, there's nothing wrong with sex, but second of all, it's very unhealthy to make a deal before you know the deal you're making, right?
Oh, yeah.
You might not be compatible with that person, and that would be a very painful thing to go through when you could spare yourself that pain.
And so many people are being brought up this way, and they feel guilty, and they feel as a sinners, they feel, and then they can't
Yeah, oh yeah,
they can't even open up after that.
yeah. That
They
was I still felt guilty and ashamed every time that we had sex in our marriage. Like I felt like I was doing something wrong. That voice never left.
Yeah, I think I've got through this too, because even though I was not raised in the Christian traditions, but it was a tradition in the family. It's like old-fashioned
Mm.
traditions that
Right.
they put them. If you are a good, decent girl, you have to be like this. And once it didn't happen, my first boyfriend, he was my fiance, and we didn't get married. Eventually, we postponed the marriage. It was all set up. Parents knew each other, stuff like this, and then once we broke up, because we had sex at the day when we supposed to have a marriage, but we didn't. So as we postponed, and we broke up, and then I felt a big sinner because I was not virgin. I could not overcome this thing. And just because I
Yeah.
went abroad and I was working abroad, then it kind of make me I release this sinner inside of me. But once I get really married and I have my first child, it all came back. All my
Wow.
sinner things I was thinking that time when I was single, I was a bad girl. I was not decent, yeah. And now I am a mother. Now all these things came back, and they start triggering, and it
Wow.
affect my sexual life actually with my husband, because before that I was open, but I was thinking I'm a dirty girl. I'm a dirty, I don't know the words in English, like a slut. I was
Yeah.
thinking like this, and I was
Yeah.
abroad because I was not in my own country. Kind of, I was doing scenes that nobody from my tradition see, yeah. And once I was back to my country when I gave birth, and then it started. I could not figure it out until I found out it was all from my childhood belief system that a decent girl shall have a one man and like this. And it was a lot of revelation too. So I think I'm glad that you have this similar kind of experience, that it's not what they teach us. It's true, everyone has their own unique experience, and I don't and if yes, I think there are some people who are happy because of their belief system too. But once our belief system starts to kind of um, deviate, then we shall be ready to uncover these things and get out. So um, I am glad that you, from the man perspective, from the country that was all this way religion, because we were opposite countries, yeah, because America was always opposite of Union, Soviet Union. So,
Yeah.
and now I understand we were pretty much similar situations we are facing in our life, in our path, in our
Yeah, it's funny. We really are all one. We live at different parts of the globe and different cultures, but have really the same experiences.
yes. And that's the what triggered me to look for a broad opinion, to opinion of people who have been brought up differently. And then I found you and other teachers that I was studying from, and I'm happy. Then we can have these meetings and find a lot of things that unite us actually.
Yeah, I'm very happy as well, and I think we could have a whole lot more conversation about it too.
Yes, thank you so much for your time, Aaron. I appreciate um, your work for everybody. I am thanking you in person for all the wisdom that I got from you, and I wish to meet you again.
Likewise, Victoria, thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to doing it again.
Thank you so much. And I'll be doing the translation now. Bye
Awesome.
bye.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.